What if I told you that there is a single mineral that controls 300 enzymatic reactions in your body? One that half the population isn't getting enough of, and the one your doctor has probably never measured properly. It's magnesium. And the story of why we're deficient is the same story we've seen before. Institutional oversight, inadequate testing, a medical system that treats symptoms while ignoring the mineral cofactor that prevents them. Let's start with what magnesium actually does. Every single time your cell produces ATP, the molecule that powers every process in your body, that ATP must be bound to magnesium to be biologically active. Without magnesium, your ATP is inert. You literally cannot use the energy your cells produce. Magnesium powers over 300 enzymes. It controls muscle contraction and relaxation, including your heart muscle. It regulates calcium channels, keeping calcium out of your cells where it causes damage, and in your bones where it belongs. It's required for DNA repair, protein synthesis, and nerve signal conduction. And here's the part that should terrify you. An estimated 50% of adults are magnesium deficient. Not mildly low, functionally deficient. Why? 3 reasons. First, soil depletion. Modern agriculture replenishes nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, but not magnesium. A study in the journal Procedia found that magnesium content in vegetables has declined by 25 to 40% over the last 60 years. The plants look the same, but they carry significantly less of what your body needs. Second, refining. When wheat is refined into white flour, 80 to 90% of its magnesium is removed. When brown rice is milled into white rice, the same thing happens. The modern diet is built on refined carbohydrates, which means the modern diet is built on magnesium starvation. Third, the drugs. Diuretics for blood pressure flush magnesium out through the kidneys. Proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux reduce magnesium absorption. Statins may increase magnesium excretion. The very medications prescribed for metabolic disease actively worsen the mineral deficiency that contributes to it. And here's the testing problem. Serum magnesium, the test in standard blood work, measures only the 1% of your body's magnesium that circulates in blood. It does not reflect the 99% stored in your bones, muscles, and cells. You can be profoundly tissue deficient and have a completely normal serum magnesium level. It's like measuring the water in your faucet to determine whether your city's reservoir is full. It doesn't work. The better test is the magnesium RBC test, red blood cell magnesium. It reflects tissue stores more accurately, but most doctors have never ordered one. Now, here's where it connects to everything we've discussed. Magnesium is calcium's natural antagonist. Calcium causes muscles to contract. Magnesium causes them to relax. When magnesium is low, calcium accumulates inside cells, causing the muscle tension, cramps, migraines, palpitations, and vasoconstriction that doctors treat with separate medications. Blood pressure medication for the vasoconstriction that magnesium deficiency causes. Calcium channel blockers that do pharmacologically what magnesium does naturally. Migraine medication for the cerebral vasospasm that magnesium deficiency enables. Are you seeing the pattern? The mineral is missing. The symptoms appear. The drugs are prescribed. Nobody asks why the mineral is missing. And the deficiency goes deeper than muscles. Magnesium is required for insulin signaling. Magnesium deficiency impairs insulin receptor function, reducing glucose uptake and elevating blood sugar. Multiple studies have shown that low magnesium status correlates with higher fasting glucose, higher insulin resistance, and higher risk of type 2 diabetes. Insulin resistance. The same condition that, as we saw in our last deep dive, raises your Alzheimer's risk by 23%. Your metabolism and your brain are connected, and magnesium sits at the intersection. But here's the honest truth. The evidence for magnesium is strong in observational data, strong in mechanistic data, but limited in large-scale randomized trials. Why? Because, like copper, you can't patent a mineral. There is no magnesium drug, no billion-dollar clinical trial program, no pharmaceutical rep visiting doctors to educate them about the magnesium RBC test. The things that might help the most, because they're fundamental to biology, get the least funding. So what do? First, eat magnesium-rich foods. But here's what most guides get wrong. They list seeds, nuts, and legumes as the best sources. Pumpkin seeds do contain nearly 600 milligrams of magnesium per 100 grams. Almonds and black beans are also listed everywhere as magnesium powerhouses. But there's a catch. Seeds, nuts, and legumes contain phytic acid, a compound that binds to magnesium in your digestive tract and blocks absorption. Studies show phytic acid can reduce mineral absorption by 30 to 60%. So the magnesium content on paper isn't the magnesium your body actually gets. The most bioavailable magnesium sources are the ones without phytic acid. Dark leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard, avocado, and for those who eat animal foods, fish like mackerel, salmon, and halibut, sardines with the bones, bone broth. These deliver magnesium in forms your body actually absorbs. But food alone may not be enough if you're already deficient. The RDA for magnesium is around 400 milligrams for men, 300 for women. But researchers who study magnesium, people like Dr. Carolyn Dean and Dr. Mildred Seelig, have argued for decades that the RDA is too low for optimal function, especially under stress, exercise, or metabolic disease. Second, supplement strategically. Not all magnesium is the same. Magnesium glycinate for sleep and anxiety. It crosses the blood-brain barrier. Magnesium malate for energy and muscle pain. Magnesium citrate for constipation. Magnesium threonate for cognitive function. The only form shown to cross into the brain effectively. Avoid magnesium oxide. It has terrible absorption, often less than 10%. Yet it's the most common form in cheap supplements and multivitamins. Third, if you're concerned, test properly. Ask for the magnesium RBC test. Optimal ranges are above 6 milligrams per deciliter, even though the lab normal range may start lower. And fourth, the same lesson from copper. Stop thinking about individual nutrients in isolation. Magnesium needs vitamin B6 for cellular uptake. It balances calcium. It works alongside potassium and sodium to maintain the electrical gradients your cells depend on. These are relationships, not numbers. Here's the bigger picture. Modern medicine has a pattern. It identifies a symptom: high blood pressure, high blood sugar, muscle cramps, migraines. It prescribes a drug for that symptom. And it never asks whether the underlying mineral deficiency is what caused the symptom in the first place. Magnesium isn't a cure-all. It's a requirement. A cofactor your body depends on for 300 processes. When it's adequate, those processes work. When it's deficient, they fail. And the failure looks like the diseases we treat with drugs.